The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.
Well, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I hope things are going good for everybody that's watching. It's a pleasure to have Jason Rook back from Humanix. How are you hanging there, Jason? How are things going? You're at home working today.
Yes, remotely, like the most of the folks, and thankfully, I'm start with the gratitude part first. That I am still working. Given the circumstances of our world right now, it could be a lot worse, and I'm thankful it's not. So I've had it actually pretty good, and being self-employed before I was at Humanix, like I've learned to work
Right.
from home quite well. So it's been an adjustment, but at the same time, just hope everybody else is doing well too, you guys included.
Okay, so I won't ask if you've got shorts on or if you've got long pants on.
No, you should see the jeans. Yeah, the rips and the holes, and it's comfy Tuesday around
Me
here. Like
too. Me too. Yeah,
casual
yeah.
Tuesday.
Actually, a couple weeks ago, it's funny when you say that. A couple weeks ago, I realized I hadn't even tucked my shirt in. I came from the bedroom downstairs, and never tucked it in. But you only see the top part, so nobody knew the difference. But yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to the
Well, it kind
real
of makes me
world.
wonder every time you watch the news on Fox or whatever, if
Yeah,
people are dealing with the same thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My neighbor used to be Dan Kleckner, in the years when they were up
Okay.
at Q6 on the South Hill. He would leave
Hmm.
during the summer with a sport coat and tie loosened to go back to work in shorts. And the reason was the
Yeah.
air conditioning in those days was terrible, and so it was a
Sure.
warm studio and he could stay
Oh,
behind the anchor desk. Hey, with all that's going
yeah.
on, how is
Got out of the
Humanix
active wear
doing?
today. No, we're actually doing really well. And again, going
Okay,
back to given the circumstances of things, we're actually really strong. We're still very busy. I think that's one of the great things about Humanix being around for 34 years is we've weathered some serious storms. This being one of them, and the challenges certainly that come from it. But we're still very busy. I mean, our temp side, and our contingent side locally has been doing very well. Obviously our long term permanent side that I work on a little bit more is come down a little bit like most places, but we're still doing well. I'm still proud of what we're trying to achieve.
as we come back from all of this, you mainly spend time with what I would call the professional folks that are looking for the full-time career jobs and that aspect versus the temp side that is continuing to go.
Sure.
What are you hearing as you talk with the businesses that would be hiring? Are they starting to give hint and direct testimony, if you will, that they expect things to come
Sure.
back and it's going to be positive?
I do, and I think the ones just to kind of carry on to that a little bit more is the ones that I think are ready for the best return are the ones who are really setting up a plan B. And I guess I could also say this for the candidate side too, who are prepared to basically kind of shift when things kind of open back up. And the one thing I can't really stress enough for those businesses is have that plan B of communication and connection with their employees or potential future candidates. Is to put out whether it's the Department of Labor, workforce, through a recruiting staffing firm or LinkedIn or otherwise, is stay connected and have that plan B. So if you're a business and you're about ready to open up, start putting the word out there to your employees and connect with them. That's one thing that I think we internally at Humanix have done a tremendous job of, is staying connected with those folks. And then it's been a really interesting, just to kind of add on to that, the dichotomy that we've been dealing with, where before when we talked in February, we had more job openings than we had people to fill them, right? Now here we are a couple months later, and it's sort of the exact
Yeah.
opposite, where we have, positions open, we're looking, we're still hiring. But the one thing we've noticed is we haven't got as much of an influx of applicants, as we were expecting in certain positions in certain industries. And I think a lot of it is, obviously, some people are making as much or more, with unemployment and stimulus than they maybe were
Yes.
before. And so they're not in a huge rush, necessarily to get back. So we've seen that. So it's just been a really surreal time of adjustment that we're all kind of, working through. Yeah.
Not able to find what's going on in the playbook anywhere, are you? I mean, you go through it and it's a whole different world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This is definitely a, new normal.
yeah, you live in the Coeur d'Alene area, across the border. What's it like
Right.
with the folks you talk about, both from hiring people and people looking for jobs over there versus here? Are you getting more, I would assume, I'm guessing, more inquiries from that side of the state right now?
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's literally, a 20-minute drive across the border for me to,
Yeah,
and I was talking with my bosses about this yesterday, the differences between Idaho kind of opening up sooner, and I think that'll, put us ahead of the curve. And we do have clients over here that are starting to ramp up some of that hiring, whether it's manufacturing or office work or otherwise,
right.
where Washington being a little bit more conservative with the governor and maybe, maybe too conservative, who knows, for what we're dealing with, which I know in the construction industry, those folks have been begging, him to kind of bring back some
Yeah,
of the work and reopen things to let people get started again. So there definitely has been a difference, and thankfully we've been able to adjust, on both sides of this border. And I think Washington will come back. I'm of the opinion
yeah,
that I don't see necessarily a huge floodgate opening. I think it's going to be pockets of different jobs and different industries where it's opening back up, and then slowly but surely we'll kind of
yes.
return to some of this. So it's yeah, there's
Yeah, I
very
don't think it's going to
at
be an
times
overnight thing.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But to your point about the playbook, there's no playbook for this.
No, there isn't. And I looked through the other day, and there were a couple pages ripped out. Maybe that's where it was, but I didn't find anything. What advice would you give folks right now that are on the hiring side of things, and those that are looking
Mhm.
for jobs? Should they be in touch with you now?
Yeah, they really should, and that's where again I think for the folks, we'll start with the businesses. For the ones that are really looking, whether it's both either the temporary staffing or the long-term permanent placements. I think the businesses that are going to use this time, just as candidates should, to really thrive and take this, use this as a springboard to basically, get ahead of the curve of the other businesses that you might be in, and really capture some excellent candidates that we have who've maybe been a victim of circumstance or got laid off from another position they weren't expecting, of course, but they're still really great candidates that can fill another position somewhere else. So that's one of the things I would encourage businesses to do, is to connect with us, or again, Department of Labor, that plan B. I know I sound a little bit redundant with
Yeah,
that, but it's something I
right.
can't stress enough. Then shifting to the candidate side, if maybe you've been working in a job that you didn't really want to do, but you had to do it, for your family or putting food on the table, maybe this is that opportunity, that blessing in disguise, if you will, to use this to then go find something else that you maybe really want to do. So that's again
Maybe
connecting with us.
maybe you can find me a job that isn't as stressful.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're starting to dominate the local market, man. I'm trying to follow you after
I
your
just had
growth
to
over the
give you a
last
bad,
3 or 4 years, for
give you a bad
sure.
time.
Yeah.
And for
I want to
those that
stay
don't
connected to
know,
you.
yeah, and don't recognize the last name, you come from a radio family here in Spokane, so you understand the business.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
sure
crazy
do.
world.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yeah.
thank you very much. How can people get in touch
My pleasure.
with you or Humanix?
Yeah, go to humanix.com. That's the best place. All of our job postings are on there. That's a great site. I'm
Okay.
on LinkedIn, Jason Rook, ROK. You can find me there personally. But we have a tremendous team that
Yeah.
we work with internally, both account managers, senior recruiters, sourcers. Everybody here. We actually really do care, and it's not just some mission statement, on our website. We generally like to help people and make an impact. So those are the things I would encourage people to do if they're looking to
Good.
hire folks, get ahead of the curve, if they know they're opening, or candidates, looking for a new position.
Well, the time is going to come. The fact is, if they can start planning and help and have you help them and so forth, then when the gates do
Right.
open up, not that everything's going to come out at once, but when the gates do, owners and managers at businesses are going to have a lot going on. So get some of these things done
Right.
now as we get ready for the time. Jason, thank you very much. Stay
Yep.
safe.
My
Come visit
pleasure.
folks in
Likewise.
Spokane once in a while. Okay. All
It's good
right.
to see your
Hey,
face,
thanks
my
for
friend.
watching.
We'll do it again in studio
Yeah,
hopefully
good to see
soon.
you too. Good. Thanks for watching the Pulse of Spokane. Have a good day, everybody.
As a community, you've always risen to the occasion. And at Wendell Motors, we want to help you continue that in whatever way we can. We're here to lend you a hand with 0% financing for 84 months and no payments for 90 days on 2020 and 2019 Fords. Unheard of financing on the F-150, Edge, Explorer, Ranger, and more. Our trained staff is following all CDC guidelines. We will deliver the vehicle to you and make the process as seamless as possible. Call us today or visit us online at wendell.com.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and a description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.